Hello, Vlare. This is Captain Omni, and I'm coming at you with an idea that might sound a little odd, uh, but as you can see here, a She-Ra He-Man crossover. I bet you wonder, well, how's this a crossover, Captain? They both exist in the same franchise, and yeah, but well, it's kind of like a bit of a different kind of. It's kind of an AU kind of idea. Now, basically, the idea is, what if Etheria and Eternia were not separate planets necessarily? Basically, what if, uh, like, Eternia in and of itself was like this ancient, long lost city on Etheria? Like, basically, Eternia being essentially like the prehistoric Etheria in a sense. And of course, this follows a lot from She-Ra and the Princess of Power, the current show. So basically, the idea here is that He-Man, Prince Adam, Adam, Adora, and King Randor, the Eternian royal family are actually a tribe of barbarians that live around the remains of like in the ruins of Eternia. You know, which is basically like the said because but Adora ends up being, but because they live so close to like first one's tech and everything, they're actually descendants of the original colonizers of Etheria, which would be like, I'm talking ancient, like even before the invention of She-Ra, there was the King Grayskull, who was like led the charge on to Etheria, and like settled there. And beneath the ruins of like Eternos, the capital city of the kingdom of Eternia, is, well, Castle Grayskull. So what happens from here is basically it's like Eternos, everything's on the other side of the planet. So what happened? But basically, uh, Adora, is still kidnapped by the Horde, by Horde scouts led by Shadow Weaver, and ends up, that's pretty much the same setup there. But the major difference here is, He-Man is actually on this planet. So, which is, of course, Adam. Uh, Now, how I would play He-Man is like, okay, in She-Ra, the the whole her sword and everything has a very like magic tech bent to it. It's magic, but it's also has a lot of like technology infused into it. Like basically. So how I would play He-Man is She-Ra was kind of like She-Ra was an adaptation of something that was already around, which would be the power of, which was based on the Sword of Protection being based on the Sword of Power, which ended up creating a prophecy that if anyone wielded both swords at the same time, they would basically be the like unstoppable, like godlike even, which kind of extends to, uh, basically I would enhance the mythology a bit, because basically before the invention of the Sword of Power, the Sword of Protection that Adora uses, uh, whoever would gain the Sword of Power would be either a He-Man or She-Ra, which kind of like really kind of uh, distorts a lot of archaeological finds that some people would find on She-Ra. Basically, He-Man is only really remembered to the people of Eternos, and the and the tribe of Eternos. So what happens here is like Adam ends up going and finding is met by the goddess, not the sorceress, the goddess. T-La. Basically, I'm kind of like using a lot of like original mini comic concepts, and blending them into uh, the into a He-Man for this. So so Adam is chosen by the goddess to become He-Man, basically, who has because he's the first one that's been born that has an innate connection to it. Because as a basically anyone can be chosen and use the power, but the thing is they have to a descendant of King Grayskull, like Adora is, like Adam is, has an innate connection to it. Not that it's impossible for anyone else to get it, but it's like, again, because he was the kind of like the discoverer and user of the original power, which is why it's called the power of Grayskull. So, moving on from that, Adam is chosen, and basically he's sent off on a pilgrimage. He knows that the Horde took his sister, and when he becomes He-Man, again, kind of like the She-Ra in this, he doesn't necessarily have a secret identity of sorts, anyway. Basically, most people kind of like, he is He-Man. That's just the thing. But it isn't like he's actually trying to have one. It's like what he becomes more known as. So here, Adam as He-Man kind of goes to kind of like a wandering barbarian, heroic fantasy kind of tropes, which eventually runs him afoul of Skeletor, who is actually his disgraced uncle, Keldor, who through trying to tap into the power of Grayskull despite not being worthy of it or chosen by it, has ended up as a kind of a Lich King. He's undead, and everything, and so he keeps. But when Adam finds the sword, is chosen and given the sword of power, like Skeletor's like, oh no, this is not going to stand. Beastman, get me my Havoc staff. That kind of thing. So basically, as most would kind of be Adam journeying across Etheria to find Adora. As kind of a side quest, as kind of his main quest, because now he has the power and he can go and get his sister back. Because his parents always told him she was taken from us. We have no idea where she went, and we can't spare and we searched hundreds of miles. We couldn't find her, and when we did, it was just the Horde, and we did not have the capability to take them on. Now Adam has that ability to take them on. So what follows is Adam's quest, sort of. And of course, it's interspersed with, things that's going on with She-Ra, because Adora happens to notice that something is going on. That she's found that she feels pulled towards something, the same way Adam does. They can sort of sense each other. Whoever has the power kind of sense where the other one is at, sort of. Gives kind of a general direction, sort of. So, one thing, again, I'm going kind of like ancient with a He-Man, with the sword of power. Basically, if let's be modest here and say, okay, if She-Ra and the Sword of Protection has been around, the Sword of Protection has been around 5,000 years, made with advanced alien technology, the Sword of Power was made even well before that. We're talking 10,000 years. This thing is ancient. It's not gleamy or crystal or golden or anything. It is looks like it has runes in the sword, not circuitry kind of thing, runes. And basically it is it looks like it's just a slab of iron, kind of with a sharp edge to it. But of course, the thing is, it can change shape, to fit whatever combat scenario is needed. Kind of because while the Sword of Protection can create shields and defensive stuff and heal, the Sword of Power is meant for one thing: crushing evil. So basically, so which is also why Adam has more of a barbarian-esque look to him. He has like the fur, he has the you know uh no shirt or anything. It's he has more barbaric look to him compared to more of a space princess look Adora has. And basically, and they do meet, and it's like Adora. They realize, hey, you're my sister. What's your name? Adora. Well, okay, my sister was named Adora. Adora discovers, she has family. Which at this point, Skeletor enters the mix, and he's sending Beast Man, he's sending Evil Lyn to kind of like contact with the Horde. It's like, oh yes, Hordak, hello, I'm Skeletor, and let me tell you, I know something you don't. I know whether you know of She-Ra. Well, and her little sword. I know another sword, the sword of power. And allow me to tell you this. I can ensure both of us get exactly what we want. Yeah, it's like basically Skeletor is trying to play Hordak, because like now because again, like he will basically, I'm going for a more kind of Palpatine-esque Skeletor, kind of like think Emperor Palpatine mixed with Darth Vader. Yeah. So yeah, he can fight, he will fight for himself, but his main thing is he's a schemer. He will put himself anywhere he needs to be in order to get power. However, he's not exactly his ego is a little too big to stay in the shadows for long compared to Palpatine. Like, basically, he's like, okay, you know what, this has been fun, this is great. Yeah, but I need the limelight now. So, yeah. Bye, Hordak. Basically trying to, like, becoming, like, center stage villain, and at least the Hordak Prime shows up. And, and there's like, okay, throws Hordak to the side. It's like, oh, Prime, let me, basically he is a survivor, and he will, and a power player, and he's going to go with whatever side's going to give him the most power. As usual, but it's a little more nuanced here. So, anyway, from what follows is, we kind of enter into more of a sword and sorcery, almost kind of like vibe for most of the rest of it. Adora. And, of course, there's a few other things, too. Just kind of, anyway, this is my idea for this. Hope you guys like it, and let me know what you think. This has been Captain Omni, signing off.